Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the third game of the AEC finals. Apologies for the technical difficulties during the second game. And for everyone who's still here, thank you for still being here. So we left, and TBL won the second game. So now they're on the match point trying to secure that 3-0 victory. Ian, what are your predictions for this game?
Well, if I'm being honest, TBL have shown us very dominant games. They've come through, especially like when it really mattered the most. Like if you go back and check the previous game, you'd have thought that they were trolling, but it actually ended up working out really well. So, based on what we've seen so far, I just put my money on TBL.
Now, of course, we see here TBL on the red side, Majesty Black on the blue side. Again, very respectful of the early game invades. No one is really looking to see any drama happen. So we love to see that.
That's true, but also just look at the early vision. Majesty seem to be investing more on the top side, while TBL are just investing more on the bot side. And the bot side has proven to be able to really come through and carry when it matters most. So it seems to be more of a purposeful decision as opposed to something that's just happening, just by random.
And we saw the board in the tri-bush for TBL that maybe we're trying to catch someone rotating from the buff. But now they'll have the information that Graves has in fact started blue side instead of bot side. And we'll see how that plays on. Will they be more aggressive knowing that, or will they, play passively and see what happens?
That's true. And then as we look at the mid lane, Cassiopeia is playing really aggressively into Galio because Cassiopeia's early game is actually pretty good, but the problem comes with mana management because up until you get your tier or archangel stuff, mana management becomes a really huge issue when playing her. So if I was Majesty's mid laner, I'd try to just trade when need be and just play a bit more passively, try to get that mana, and then when things are good, I can just commit to an all-in once my jungler starts rotating down.
Right. So yeah, TBL getting the early advantage in the bot lane. They've pushed the wave in a bit. A little bit of poke coming from the Thresh, but it's pretty even down there. Cassiopeia, of course, already at half mana, but she's pushed the wave all the way in. Galio just farming safely on base turrets. Irelia pushing the Cho'Gath all the way into his tower. Now we know Irelia is really strong in this buff, and she should do well even against the Cho'Gath thanks to the magic damage she gets. So what are your predictions for, let's say, for the top lane? What do you think happens there?
Just before that, we see an almost Thresh almost dies, but somehow manages to flash away.
Vayne gets caught. Will she get the first kill? Vayne gets the first blood. Thresh away with his life. Will he survive the poison damage? He does not. Graves get the kills there, and Graves picks up the double kill for the return. So that's 2 for 1 in the favor of Majesty.
But then there's a bit of skirmish going on mid side, and Cassiopeia is dead.
Juggernaut goes down, and yeah, TBL get their kill back. So it's now 2-2 kills, even gold. And this game is looking to be another skirmish heavy game.
I think that was probably a judgment error on Majesty's side because I think it would have been better for them to feed the kills to Twitch as opposed to the Graves because as we all know, Twitch is like a really late game hyper carry. So giving him the advantage or giving him the gold early on should make it easier for him to win this 2v2 early on versus Vayne and the Thresh. But then it seems like the Graves takes both kills for himself, resets, and then just leaves the wave, or rather leaves the lane as is.
Yeah. Now, of course, these are Graves, known for being a farming jungler, catching Talia out in the invade. He goes for the damage. Will he get the kill? Talia able to escape using her knockback and her passive movement speed, but Juggernaut is there to pick up the kill, and he takes it. That's a kill for Juggernaut. He gets his kill back, and he's looking very good in this mid lane. Meanwhile, Graves looking to invade Talia's jungle, knowing that she's now dead. He's gonna have him some Kentucky Fried chickens.
But then look at the amount of resources invested because Graves had to flash in, but then didn't get the kill. But
that's a cleanse from Vayne. Vayne is out. Yeah, she's out, but she had to use a cleanse to get out.
I like the 2v2 on bot side because Majesty is playing like really aggressive, just pushing the wave in and making sure that they choke out the amount of resources that Vayne can get.
Right, but of course Vayne in this bot lane versus the Twitch, both not as high range ADCs as we've seen in some of these other games. We should see a lot more skirmishes in the bot lane. Leona offering an insane amount of CC, but so does Thresh, with the flay and with the hook. So one way or another, we're going to see a lot of fighting down in this bot lane. As we see, in fact, TBL's bot lane rotating towards mid, perhaps to secure priority for the dragon.
That's true, but then also just to draw your attention away a bit from this really heavy bot side oriented match.
Right.
Check top lane. Irelia had slowly but surely accrued a lead for herself, but then I think she might have reset a bit too early, so the wave ended up crashing, and Cho'Gath has somehow managed to get back in the game. But even as I say this, Irelia gets a 10 CS lead.
Yeah, but that 10 CS is just like catching the wave on the tower. Cho'Gath isn't really going to miss much unless Irelia manages to freeze this wave on him. And again, we're seeing bot lane a few trades, a few skirmishes, but nothing really serious. No one is committing to these fights just yet.
That's true. Everyone's just trying to poke out a bit, make sure you get the other guys to reset so that you can have more priority on the dragon.
Yeah, but we see perhaps Graves is looking to gank through lane. Now he decides to go through the bush. He will get spotted on the ward though. So red team will back down. Wait, Thresh gets caught by the Leona. He misses his hook, so everyone just walks away from that.
As usual, Thresh just trying to hook the future, but it seems like Talia is also just waiting on the bot side, just trying to make sure that they also have some form of priority on this fast Drake.
Now Thresh actually lands the hook on the Leona, but Leona gets the stun off and the ignite down. Thresh forced to run away using the lantern for the shield. Talia contesting with Graves on the Drake. It's a 50-50 who gets the smite. And Talia goes down. Graves does manage to steal the dragon, so Majesty Black coming out ahead in that fight.
That was a lot of resources invested into the bot side because both top laners used their TPs, and Gali also had to use his ult, but then didn't manage to save his jungler. So things are going to look a bit more interesting from here. Because also, if you just check the CS discrepancy on...
Oh, what an ult. She doesn't get the stun off, but her damage is enough. Of course, the passive damage from her poison is enough to pick up that kill along with the ignite.
And the slow from looking away from the ulti. That was a beautiful play from Cassiopeia.
And she'll be able to push in this lane and go back and grab some of her items.
And just if you just check on her itemization, she's already stacking up that early tier. So come the mid game, she's probably going to start the Archangel stuff. So this is going to be one poisonous lady.
Yeah, Archangel's into Seraphs is really good for her. Gives her a lot of mana, enables her to use her E all the time without having to worry about resources. It should be good for her. Aurelia lands the stun, but she chooses to back away. She sees the Thresh in the area, respecting that Thresh.
Just look at the vision on top side. Like the map is completely dark for both sides. It seems like both teams are investing less vision on top side and happen to be focusing more on the bot because TBL have a lot of vision bot side, even though Drake's already gone. So Majesty should really consider investing some vision probably into bot because that's the only other neutral objective that's still up at the moment.
Right, and as you say that, we see Leona with a sweeper clearing some vision down in that tri-bush. Oh, here comes Talia with the wall, but Leona managed to get on the right side of it. Unfortunately, Twitch had to flash over to save his life. So now he's down his summoner spell, but he does get away alive.
Now that bot lane matchup is going to get a bit more interesting because as you can just if you look at the map, it seems like Talia's camping a bit. It almost seems like she's camping more on bot side, trying to make sure just to enable the Vayne to just get online as soon as possible. So with the Twitch missing his flash, that bot side is going to get a bit more hard from here.
Now, of course, we see Leona flashing in, Zenith Blade stunned, the Thresh will go down, Twitch Graves manages to pick up that kill. Twitch is looking to secure a kill. No, Graves gets the double kill. And that's a good gank from Graves for Majesty Black.
But even as you say that, we see the Cassiopeia playing really safe, just trying to crash the wave. Was also respecting the possible gank from topside, but then also just decides to crash the wave before reset.
Now, we see Majesty Black again, much like last game, they have a really strong early game. They've started out quite well. The question is whether they'll manage to, take it over into the late game, and I think they have it in them. This might be the game that they start coming back with.
I mean, they probably could, because if you just, oh my god.
Irelia goes in, she lands the stun, Vorpal spikes coming out, but Cho'Gath is able to walk away.
And just also keep note of just how quickly stacking her passive. Deciding to stack the Vampiric Scepter, so she's probably going for a Blade of the Ruin King as a fast item.
Hold on, Graves and Talia fighting. Talia gets Graves away. Graves taking a chunk of damage, but chunking her back. She flashes away. He's able to secure the kill. He gets taunted. Gallia is looking to give this kill over to the Cho'Gath. He dies for it. Graves still fighting. Cassiopeia is here to support. She has Conqueror stacked up. Graves is looking to do more damage. The Lantern comes to get the Cho'Gath to safety, but Leona says, no, you will not pass. And that's very, very many kills for Juggernaut. But still, Vayne trying to flash away for her life. She dies to the ult, and Juggernaut gets a triple kill. Triple kill on the Cassiopeia. 12 kills to 3 favor Majesty Black.
Look at this Cassiopeia is just doing so much damage. Props to Majesty's jungler as well for just trying to enable and just respecting the fact that even though it seems like Black Lotus are focusing more on top side, he decides to rotate top, enable his mid lane, and just try to make sure also his top lane can just farm up a bit. I just respect the shot calling from him, or rather the decision making from him. That was just stellar.
Right. Now, of course, now we see Talia starting to fall a bit behind to the Graves, getting caught out more than once, but still only a 10 CS difference. However, she is 5 kills down.
That's true, and
we see the Herald being popped top lane for, the plates and First Blood turrets.
Oh, First Blood turret, I like that. But anyway, sorry, TBL decided to trade this pressure that they're getting on top side with just going for the Drake. And it seems like
Shelly almost got the charge off, but didn't quite.
Yeah.
Cho'Gath had a feast.
Oh, but also just if you just pop down to the itemization, it seems like Majesty is almost fully online, with the Twitch opting for actually an AP build, going for the Nash's Tooth. Cassiopeia's Meandri's Anguish is already online, the Immortal Shield before your Graves, and the Blade of the Ruin King for your Irelia. Meanwhile, on Black Lotus' side, no fast mythics completed, but even
Talia, the wall comes down, but she gets caught by the Leona's Zenith Blade, but it's not enough. Talia still gets the Twitch down. Leona left all alone, and she dies as well. 2 kills for TBL in the bot lane.
It seems like the camping is starting to pay off a bit, and this might be their strategy to get back into the game. Just harass their bot lane as much as possible, make sure they can at least fall behind, such that come into the late game, this Twitch cannot be the hyper carry monster that we all know him to be. But then even as I say that, Vayne just gets a few gold plates for herself, and with turret plating about to fall, I'd say she should probably just try to get like the second one, seeing as they already have some vision. So she should be safe, but she chooses to recall instead, get those items, just try to come online as quickly as possible.
Yeah, now, of course, looking, bot lane for TBL might have gotten a bit back, but we still have a Juggernaut who is very much true to his name with a 7 kill versus 1 kill in the mid lane. He's sitting on 134 CS to 88. He's looking quite good. And as we all know, Cassiopeia is a champion that scales very well into the late game. What do you think about that?
It's actually like you just put it perfectly, because if I was TBL, instead of investing resources into the bot side, I'd try to make sure to just get this shutdown on the Cassiopeia, get the gold reset, just make sure she doesn't get a bit too cocky and realizes the fact that, sure, even though I have managed to accrue such a lead early on, I can still be threatened at any specific time. Like, what she's doing right now is just continuously farming, continuously putting pressure on mid lane, and seeing as how Black Lotus aren't answering, it seems to be just working out well for her. So I'd probably just go for a quick dive, just try and dive and see if we can get the gold reset and then go from there. But even as I say that, I really tries to engage, but
Yeah, bit
quickly
of a trade,
disengages
but
when
she's
she
out.
realizes
Yeah.
that she doesn't have vision on the top side, so she realizes that she might be potentially getting ganked.
And of course, Graves knows exactly what Talia is, but Talia doesn't know that. Graves manages to dodge the CC, but the lantern comes to safety and Zenith Blade just misses. Talia gets out safely with her life.
I have to say, even though the Thresh misses hooks, his lanterns just seem to be landing his team into some safe positions.
Now, of course, that's the mid turret, tier 1 turret gone in the favor of Majesty Black. That really opens up this map for them in what they can and cannot do as they look to set up vision around the third Drake, sorry.
I like what they're doing right now, trying to clear up vision, get as much priority as possible on the bot lane so that they can be able to freely be able just to get this streak.
Right. And we see TBL doesn't, though perhaps. What do you think their play forward is from here? Because of course this is match point for them. If they win this, they win the series. So what do you think they should do to be able to get this in their favor?
For starters, I think they should just take it slow, just reduce the tempo of the game a bit. Try to like freeze a specific lane.
As you say, you reduce the tempo. Aurelia getting taunted in. She goes in, but she goes back out.
She keeps on trying to trade, even though like she has a significant CS lead. She still doesn't have enough damage to be able to fully threaten a Galio, who can also be a bit tanky, even though he's building
Twitch catching up the Vayne. He pops the ulti. Sewer spikes for everybody, but Vayne says no. The lantern takes it to safety. Cassiopeia getting caught way out, shut down over to the Galio. And you hate to see it. The Thresh lands the hook over the wall. Leona will go down here, I believe. You see? Sugar chasing down the kill on the Twitch. He does land the knockup. Twitch goes down as well to the Talia. Aurelia manages to get an answer kill. Perhaps she'll get both. She does have a passive stacked up. She's autoing.
Get the double. Then also there's a lot of damage going down Vayne. So
yeah, Vayne has to flash away from the stun. So she's down one flash. Aurelia is up one kill, but so is Cho'Gath. And Cho'Gath is deep in the enemy jungle now.
And just as we were about to write this game off for Majesty, they managed to get as we were about to write off this game, they just managed to make sure that everything is just A-okay.
Yeah, but still, Aurelia also getting that tower gold in the bot lane, so she's quite a bit ahead in gold, even though the stats look similar. She's got a 70 CS lead on her Cho'Gath, 70 CS.
But then look at the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is just going to get tankier and tankier as this game goes on longer. So Majesty should look to end this game as soon as possible because come the late game, even though they might have enough damage, the Cho'Gath will just
Cassiopeia misses the ult, unfortunately, and now she's looking to be caught out again. Juggernaut really not having a good game. He's been shut out again by the Galio. Galio gets the taunt over the wall. Thresh lands the hook, and that is one dead Leona.
The Galio just happens to be at the right place in the right time, lands the stun, or rather lands the taunt, engages, and I like how they're just feeding him the kills slowly by slowly in order just to make sure that he can at least be able to be in a position.
Graves gets knocked back over the wall. He was caught. Cho'Gath going for the damage. Graves running for his life. The phase rush has been popped. Will he manage to get away with this? I think he does, yes.
He can just kite it out, so I think he should be.
Immortal Shieldbow really proving up to its name right there. Kept him alive for way longer than he should have been.
That's very true. But then also as we just look at the matchup, I'd like to bring your attention to something that I haven't seen a lot. The Talia is going Night Harvester as opposed to the usual Liandries or probably Ludens. What do you make of this?
So I would have loved to see the Ludens, not gonna lie, but Talia with the Night Harvester has insane burst damage. You learn all your abilities, the Rumbling Ground, you learn the knockback, you learn your Q, especially if it's not a trouble down. You can burst someone from 2000 damage to 0 health like, immediately. So I do like the Night Harvester pick. I'm not sure if I prefer it to the Luden's Echo, but it is quite a burst pick.
Well, that's all I'm going. That's all I'm going to say on that. Question marks still leave to be seen because even though it's been getting a bit of kills and it has gotten her back into the game, we had to see how this works out later on into the game. And even as you said that, even though Juggernaut has been caught out several times, he's already at his 2-item power spike, has already fully stacked up the Archangels, and
Yep.
he seems like he's probably itemizing for a Banshees.
We see a bit of a fight in the bot lane, Aurelia versus Cho'Gath. No, she backs away, but she does have the passive spike. I mean, stacked if should anyone try to fight her. Meanwhile, Majesty Black are going for the Baron. Now, TBL has a bit of vision, but not much on that. Galio is waiting to see if he can get what they need for them. Tries to steal it with a Q, but unfortunately he doesn't get it. Graves doesn't miss his smite, and so Majesty Black with a Baron looking to get tier 2 downs in all lanes.
I like the decision making when they just realized that it seemed like all the pressure was mostly on both sides. Just pulling the trigger and deciding to start up the Baron was a really good move from them. And I'd like to see just how much they'll be able to accomplish with it, or if excuse me, if Majesty will be able to like answer back and or rather just be able to answer back and kill them all.
Right. Now the game has calmed down a little bit. We don't have anything on the map at present. So people can be looking to, get farm. Aurelia still in the bot lane. Mid lane has rotated top, and now our bot lane is mid.
I think the rotation is actually pretty common. This is what we tend to see a lot in pro play, and you just love to see it right now. And seeing as how top side has been pushed mostly for Majesty, they should be looking to regain control of that at the very least. Because should they leave that lane in that particular state, it could be a chance for Black Lotus to just run away with this.
Right. Now, of course, remembering Black Lotus is on the red side. We see them posturing to get towards the Drake. What do you think of this? Because, of course, they are 1 Drake to 2. It's not soul point, but it could be for Majesty Black if they pick up this 3rd Drake.
I think they could just forfeit it, just choose to handshake and then push all lanes, just make sure the lanes are in a favorable position.
We have a pause here.
Yeah. So as I was saying, they should just try to like push out the lanes, at least get the tier 1s, because up until this point, all of Majesty's tier 1s is still up, as opposed to Black Lotus, who are down all tier 1s, all fast tier 1s, and the tier 2 on bot lane should be going down sometime soon. So Majesty should just look to at least hold up. I think I'm getting these things confused.
No, you're right. TBL is on the red side. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah, TBL should just look to try and push, such that the waves are pushing more towards Majesty's side. Give them a bit of pressure, such that even when they do get the Drake, they still have to come and reconsider getting the waves back to a favorable state.
Right, of course. This Baron buff isn't going to last forever. It will fall off sooner or later. Now, I would have liked to see more done with it. We have a bit of a freeze here, but the game is going well. Yeah, I would have liked to see Majesty Black doing more with that Baron.
Yeah, it seems like they're playing a bit passively for what I expected, because the play usually is you get Baron, you push as many lanes as possible, just to just get that ball rolling. But then it seems like most of the Majesty have just been playing very passively and instead choose to prioritize the Dragon.
Yeah, which they did secure in their defense. So that's 2 Mountain Drakes down, and they're on soul point to the 1 Cloud Drake in the side of TBL. And TBL managing to pick up that tier 1 turret top lane. Of course, Graves going for some damage on the Cho'Gath, but Cho'Gath just being so tanky. Will he manage to survive this? Can he get the damage under the tower? Graves gets the kill with his ultimate. You'd love to see it, but Talia is here for the answer kill. Juggernaut managing to get away. Thresh flashes in. Talia picks up that kill. Thresh is looking for the hook. He lands it, but Graves flashes away. Galio is chasing it, but here's a Leon on his dead. Meanwhile, Twitch is down. He died, unfortunately. Vayne is looking for the kill on the Twitch, cleanses off the Leona stun, but Twitch manages to get away.
Like the cross map answer was just beautifully executed, and now it seems like the Vayne is actually coming online a bit quicker than or rather a bit later than we expected, but is still managing to do a fair amount of damage, considering she only has one item and is slowly getting close to completing that Blade of the Ruin King, I assume, on her second item, but also has an Executioner's Calling just to cut down that healing, just to get that bit of healing reduction.
Right, especially close to the Immortal Shield, but you can't really let him heal through your team, and Cassiopeia as well, with the healing on her passive. You really don't want her to be healing through that. Yeah.
That's true. I also think like the main problem, or rather the main issue here, should actually be the Cassiopeia, because if she fully stacks her Conqueror, the amount of healing that she can get is absolutely ridiculous. And even as I say that, she manages to get a blue buff, and she's already at 3 items, having completed a Banshee's Bane. So this top side should look a bit interesting in the next few minutes, should Cho'Gath choose to remain. But even as I say that, Cho'Gath is still very tanky. Probably choosing to go for just doing a hybrid itemization here with the Bramble Vest, probably a Negatron Cloak as well. I'm not really sure what he should be prioritizing as his second item. He could probably go for the Thorn Maid. He could also go for the Abyssal Mask, but it remains to be seen.
Now, of course, Cassiopeia has a Liandry's on her, so max HP damage, as we know, is very good into that Cho'Gath, who as of now doesn't have much in the way of magic resist. He has his Turbo Chem Tank and he has the Negatron Cloak, but he doesn't have much else. And so max HP damage, she should be able to melt through him pretty quickly.
That's true, but also now that we're on this topic of Cho'Gath, like to tell me, what do you think about the Turbo Chem Tank itemization as opposed to probably something like Crossfire or the Sunfire that we see more of the traditional tanks taking?
Yeah, no, Turbo Chem Tank is something you see more on like a Shen than a Cho'Gath. It does offer you that quick engage should your team need a secondary engage. But I feel like TBL team had enough engage. You have the Thresh, you have the Galio, you have the Talia. I don't know that Cho'Gath needed the Turbo Chem Tank.
He's probably just looking for the movement speed bonus as well, maybe. But the decision making for getting that item remains to be seen.
Yeah, of course. Now he's locked in the Force of Nature as well. So he has gone the magic resist route. Of course, Twitch is going the AP build. He does have his Natural Tooth and his Rabadons ready, so the E damage is about to be off the chain. And he has the Void, the Nani from the Morellos, so he also has anti-heal.
Yeah, also now that we're on the topic of Twitch, just if you could kindly just tell me, I'm not that familiar with the AP build, so if you're building AP Twitch, what mythic item would you recommend?
If you're building AP Twitch, honestly, it depends on what you're looking at. You could go Riftmaker if you need the sustain. You could go for the Night Harvester if you're looking for Insane Burst. And yeah, between those two, those are usually good. Luden's Echo is also a good choice. Now we see Leona's ult come down. Solar Flare misses the stuns, but she goes in anyway, trying to get some CC down for her team. But Twitch getting caught out here, gets deleted by the Vayne, but Vayne will die to the Irelia. So that's kill for kill there. Meanwhile, Juggernaut is chasing down, we have a pause here, but Juggernaut was chasing down the Galio and was looking to perhaps get a lot of damage off before Galio ults his team.
And Galio is probably going to have like a really hard time once he connects, because he's probably going to reconnect and he's going to be like half his HP, and maybe the recall, or rather the ulti, could have been interrupted, but we should just be able to say that in a moment.
Yeah, okay, actually we see Galio just walking away here. Perhaps the pause saved his life, we will never know. But again, we see Majesty Black on the Baron, starting it once again. Graves clearing out the vision before he starts dealing damage. You know, Cho'Gath getting caught out in bot lane. Leona Zenith blades him, stuns him, and we have an Irelia doing a lot of damage to him. He's walking around trying to get away, but he will not live this particular one, and Irelia manages to secure that kill.
Wow, just not too much going on, or rather there's not too much to say about that, because if you just look at Majesty's side, the amount of vision that's set up on both sides is like really, really good. Um, Black Lotus should have respected the fact that they didn't have enough vision, but the Cho'Gath just decided to stay along, and he pays with his life.
Now we see Baron and all these members of Majesty Black. Talia hoping to perhaps stop a recall, checking the bushes with her Q, but no one is there, unfortunately. It's just farming, Twitch moving on towards the mid lane, and perhaps Majesty Black are looking to use this Baron to push out one of the lanes.
That's true, but also just to point out, like over that small period,
The Fangs versus she gets the stun on both members. She dodges the taunt. She's on the Galio. She's spamming that E. Galio ults Vayne. Vayne goes down. Cassiopeia gets the kill. Juggernaut is feeling very happy with himself about that. In a 2v1, he manages to pick up the kill.
Irelia also just kind of missed the ulti, so you hate to see that, but she's chasing down.
She's stunning with Zhonya's under the stopwatch under the tower. And she manages to get out as well. Juggernaut able to pick up that kill and save her life.
The Mountain Soul is just really doing wonders for them right now. As
see them pushing up the game here. Yeah, TBL has 3 players down, actually 4 players down, and Galio is left to try and stop this by himself. Will he be able to? I do not think so, but let us see what happens. This should be game for Majesty Black, clawing the back into the series, showing us they're not out, they're not down without a fight. 2 TBL, 1 Majesty Black.
And I have to say, props to Juggernaut for just trying his best to carry his team, because he really popped off on that Cassiopeia, just doing the most, making sure he's just rotating perfectly, making sure he's also just trying to make sure that his team is also on the rotations for the neutral objectives. Just really well, and a really good job for him.
Right, yeah. Who's your MVP for this match, I wonder?
Juggernaut, hands down.
Juggernaut.
I don't even have to think about it.
Perhaps YouTube chat can tell us who they think gets MVP this game.
Stands to be seen. So just type in your favorite champion, and we'll probably get back to you after this.
Right, so 10-minute break, and then we'll be back with game 4.
To win. Everybody else said better luck next time. I don't wanna bend, let the bad girls bend. I just wanna be a friend. Is it ever gonna be enough? when we were gambling to win. Everybody else said better luck next time. I don't wanna bend, let the bad girls spend. I just wanna be a friend while you're giving me a hard time. I remember when we were gambling to win. Everybody else said
Inside my head there's a little place left for you. What do you know? What do you know? And all I want is to find out what you're going through. What do I know? Maybe the silence is dangerous. I know you look the other way. I know you long for something new, so that you're wasting all your days looking for something that is right in front of you. And I just want them to notice you. And I'll never let go of you. There's something flying in the air, and I just don't know what it could be. Smoke is flying everywhere. I'm getting the
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Game 4 in this what is shaping up to be a lovely series on our hands. Now, of course, TBL won the first 2 games, but MBL has managed to show us that they're not out of the fight. They're here and here to win. So, Ian, tell me, what do you think about the last game? And what do you think MBL should continue to do going into this game?
The last game was actually a banger, absolutely amazing to watch. Love to see the decision making going forward from Manchester side, and I think they should probably stick to that specific format where they just pick champions that they can slowly scale into, or rather just pick a comfortable champion for the mid lane and their top lane, or rather, sorry, their mid lane and their lane, look to scale from there, and then just snowball once their carries are online.
Yeah, and of course, last game we saw Majesty Black kind of beating TBL at their own game, picking all of the skirmishes and winning them. And I really love to see that type of play from them. They weren't as passive as they did in the first game. They really went ham, and it paid off big for them. We saw Graves invading Talia basically every chance he could. We saw Juggernaut really rotating and really getting those kills that he wanted to get, and we love to see that.
And the tower dives that didn't fail. Absolutely amazing.
We won't talk about tower dives today. We've seen quite a few failures.
Well, we've seen a lot of things with T's today. There's been tower dives, there's been thresh, but we probably shouldn't say that out loud, but it is what it is.
Yeah, okay, as we go into the champ select, I'm seeing immediately a Seraphine ban, still so standard as by the last 3 games.
And so is the Shen and the Sam. Seems both teams are really respecting the amount of agency that 200 years can bring to the game.
There goes Graves. Graves is not showing up in the Rift today, and neither is Udyr.
It just seems like there's been a constant... champions have been constantly banned. Happen to be like the first 4 champions.
For Imperfect.
Oh.
The Lilia answer for the jungle. I see a Lulu hover, a Lulu lock-in. Perhaps we will see a Lulu into Malphite again. I don't know.
The Viego is in!
Viego lock-in, let's go. And the Jin as well.
Oh, 200 years is just cooking on the table.
Caliban. They do not want Akali in the hands of TBL.
But
Ian,
I like...
we get to see 2 today.
We get to see Viego. Please palm Viego in. Please. We get to see 200 years for the first time today. I'm really hyped about this.
And we see Kiana as well. Remember when Kiana was 200 years?
Kiana used to be a thing? Really?
Yeah.
Well, that was like 2019 World's Meta.
Yep.
Like 2019 or 2018. I can't remember properly. But then also, just to bring your eyes back to what's going on the screens, targeted bans again with the Kali Nautilus, and the Ari ban seems a bit questionable. I don't know.
And it's like Mill locked in. Very interesting drafts on both these teams. Of course, we have TBL going for the more standard draft. We have a Thresh Jin bot lane, a Viego jungle, a Victor mid, and a Malphite. However, on the side of MBL, and this is what I'm interested in, we have the Kian, we have the Camille, we have the Lulu, we have the Lilia. What do you think of this draft?
There's so much you can do with it, because once you get the early game is going to be an absolute banger, because there's no champ that's necessarily really weak in the early game. Then when you get into the mid game, things start to get a bit interesting, because Kiana and Camille on a side lane can get really annoying, especially with the camouflage that Kiana gets when she gets to an area that has is it grass?
Brush. Yeah.
Any area with brush, the camouflage, and then just stun. Honestly, it's just really, really annoying. But then also, as we said, that there's Viego on the team.
Latest in Riot's absolute banger of 200-year champion, Mr. Steal Your Champ himself, Viego, in the hands of Virtuous. virtuous, of course, being an amazing player. I'd love to see what he does with Viego.
That's absolutely true. But then also just to bring your attention back to Majesty's side, Juggernaut is now on the Kiana.
Oh
This
my
is
word,
just-
that's true. Yeah.
This Juggernaut is on the Kiana. We don't know if it's a comfort thing for him or if it's something they have experience with. But if we were to go by the previous games, we're going to say that this could prove to be a bit of a problem in the mid lane. But then Victor should be able to do like decently for himself come the early game, because he can just poke out and just try to farm up safely. But then once it comes to like the team fight and skirmishes, things could go a bit south. I think it's here. It's alright. And now we'll have a short break as we load up into the game. Feel free to type in your predictions in the YouTube chat. Who takes this game? Remember, it's match point for Black Lotus, so winner takes everything. And if Majesty managed to win, we're probably going to have an actual best of 5, and it's going to be close to that reverse sweep that we've all been waiting for. So kindly just hit up chat, type in who you think is going to take this game.
was nice and everything, but let's try something a little bit more like this.
Oh, okay. So you want something kind of like this?
No. I meant something a little bit more like this.
All right then, let's do it.
Switch.
Motherfucker, not today. Damn. Like this.
I'm losing sleep, gotta smoke so I can breathe. It's too dark, it's too loud in the city. If I had a god, I would say he was wrong. Got these scars, but I think they're pretty. So I say, hey, been high since yesterday. You know it kills the pain. It's hard to find the love through every shade of gray. So tired of the same, never seems to change. It's hard to find the love through every shade of gray. It's hard.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Technical difficulties on all ends of the spectrums today. I've had a bit of an issue. This game, Lilia Internet seems to be having a bit of an issue, but as we go into game 4 of this series, MBL looking to claw their way back in, but and TBL looking to close this out finally, just get the last win they need. They are on match point after all. So Ian, tell me, what are your predictions for this game?
This is going to be like a really hard one because on one side we have a well-rounded composition that scales like really well, and then on the other side we have Viego, and that's just about it. We have
Yeah,
a
Viego. You don't need to say anything else.
There's literally nothing else to say because the Viego remains to be like the biggest question mark with this whole game. Like, should he pop off, this game was going to be absolutely miserable for Team Majesty. But should the Viego slack off, I think Majesty should be able to claw back, and we could probably be having a reverse sweep on our hands.
Yeah, now Viego and his ability to steal enemy champions as well as his execute damage, the team of MBL are looking really squishy. We have a Kiana, we have a Kaisa in the bot lane with a Lulu support. Though Lulu does have Guardian, but we have Lilia and Camille, not generally very tanky champions. So perhaps they're looking for the more damage, but unfortunately that's what the Viego specializes in. So, this should be an interesting matchup.
Indeed, and if you also just look across the board, the only true tank we have in this game is the Malphite. Apart from that, everyone else is just either a bruiser or just full on damage. So Viego should be having a very fun time just doing what he does best, which is dishing damage, Mr. Steal Your Champ, and just making it absolutely miserable for Team Majesty.
Yeah. Now, as you say, both teams have a lot of heavy damage champions. Victor, of course, able to pull up pentakills by himself. Jin, fourth shot, not much needs to be said about that. Malphite, damage even with the tank build, and Thresh, able to provide the utility his team needs. So, on both sides of this game, I'm seeing a lot of damage and I'm predicting a lot of skirmishes. I think if this goes well for Virtuous on this Viego, he should be able to get his team this win. But if it doesn't, that might be the cinching part to allow MBL to get the second win they need.
That's true, but then also another player I'd like you guys to keep your eye on is Juggernaut. For those of you who just joined us, we had an absolute bang over Game 3 where Juggernaut was playing Cassiopeia, and he absolutely popped off on the champion, completely suppressing his opponent and just making sure things were absolutely miserable for him at every single turn. And now we see him on the Kiana, so expectations are already high enough from my end, if that's anything to go by. So we'll just have to wait and see how he manages to go.
Yeah, and of course we see some damage being traded in the bot lane. Catherine Rain came down, but everyone was able to walk away from that, and Jin is able to sustain right back up. Meanwhile, Kiana gets the level 2, goes immediately onto the Victor, gets stunned in return. Victor face rush pops, Kiana still fighting, but Victor manages to get away.
And that's a decent trade because now Kiana can easily farm up, make sure the wave crashes, and Victor is going to have a slightly harder time just trying to remanage his wave states. And even as we say that, we head into yet another pause.
I see in the chat, I think it's not having lag issues. So then we'll see what happens with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
unfortunately, this finals has been beset with technical issues left, right, and center, but it should be a good game nonetheless.
It really should. And for those of you on the YouTube chat who've managed to stick around with us, we really thank you for persevering and just hoping the best for us. And we really love your commitment to just wanting to see this through till the end with us here. And thank you so much yet again. Now, even as we go into the pause, I'd just like to bring to your attention one small KEKW factor, and it's that Thresh missed his first hook of the game. And up until today's over, I think I'm just going to be like really critical of anyone who's playing the Thresh, because Thresh hooks can literally make or break your bot lane. Because if you do engage with like a good hook early on, that's like either a sure kill, or rather you'll just manage to poke out your lane opponent and you'll be able to like get the wave going. But then should you miss your hook, considering it's like really high cooldown early on, it's like basically just taking out one of the main tools Thresh has. And you, as we keep on saying today, you just really hate to see it.
Yeah. Now perhaps we should ask YouTube chat who they think will win this game. Now of course, with the technical difficulties, that could be way up in the air, but just based off of your thoughts, YouTube chat, who do you think wins this game? Do you think MBL takes it, or do you think TBL manages to secure the series? Leave your comments down below. We'll be checking back on that in a bit. But in the meantime, not much has happened here, honestly. No summoners have been burned.
It's only
people are looking pretty safe. Yeah, health is looking good. Yeah.
It's only 3 minutes into the game, and everyone is just trying to play safely, just catch those fast waves, set up everything, and then probably try and start skirmishing around the neutral objectives. And the first one, which is obviously going to be the Drake. We have to see which Drake it's going to be, but also like that should be another thing that is worth considering, because depending with the soul that's on the line, that could actually be a very huge deciding factor for how the teams decide to play.
Right. I'm seeing a little BM going back and forth in the chat as the players exchange a bit of friendly banter over the pauses. And I see spirits are high even though the pauses are long. And I see in the chat one sole vote for TBL and no one for MBL. Perhaps every MBL fan went to the smooth stream, I don't know.
Maybe, but then we'll just have to. It's yet to be seen. We'll just work with what we can get.
Oh, Camille trading very poorly into the Malphite top lane. Adaptive shield was not enough to keep her from getting a lot of damage.
That's true, especially considering the fact that Malphite is running Comet. That means that the amount of poke damage he has early on is just really, really huge. And even as you say that, Thresh misses yet another hook on the bottom. Press F to pay your respects for all the missed hooks. Thresh. Also, just send him PayPal. Maybe he could get get something good.
One. Yeah.
Like if you were to check statistically, he probably lands one of every 7 hooks he throws out. So, I mean, the odds are pretty decent considering we're all not really math people. But 1 out of 7 isn't too bad considering you're still winning the game. So, you know.
Yeah, but I will remind you, like, if you remember the Mickey X game in G2 where he played Blitzcrank, you don't need to land every hook. You just need to land the one that changes everything.
You just need to predict the right one.
Yeah. So you feel free to miss 15 hooks in lane, but when you land that one that gets you the first kill, that gets you the pentakill, that's the hook that matters. No one will remember what you missed.
Well, for what it's worth, I will troll the absolute heck out of it. But even as I say that, we can see Lilia's just farming up pretty smoothly up on the both side jungle, and
Malphite backed TP'd. Yeah, exactly. So he's able to fight this fight Camille really well because now he has his mana back, and Camille is forced to back here because she can't stay in this lane.
Exactly, but then also
Malphite won't let her back, interrupts the back. He says, "You're not going anywhere."
But then look at what Camille had done. She was just building up like a really huge wave to crash, but then Malphite just decides to use his TP, get back in lane, make sure everything's alright before it goes.
Doesn't miss any form there, gets his minions. Perhaps even sets up a freeze here. Yeah, Camille forced TP back.
Yeah, but then look at the trade. There's not really much he could do. Oh, wait, even as I say that's like half HP gone. The true damage on the Q.
Quite a good trade in the favor of Camille. The Malphite manages to even that out. Imperfect, of course, on Malphite. This is a champion. He knows how to play. He knows what he's doing with this champion.
That's true. Also, just look at the map state. A bit of vision being invested on the bot side. So, TBL could look to gank bot side, seeing as how the wave is slowly crashing in to the tier 1, so they could just look to invade, or rather just to gank, set up the Jhin for success, and maybe get them a chance to start snowballing.
Yeah, of course. Now we see here Kai'Sa with a bit of a CS deficit. She's 10 CS down to the Jhin.
And that's already got to be taking some question marks, because Kai'Sa's early game should be significantly better than Jhin's, considering even though Kai'Sa's range is a bit smaller than Jhin's, the Ikatean range should be able to do more than enough when it comes to clearing waves. So the deficit leaves a bit of a question, but seeing as it's not too big, maybe he has a chance to come back.
And see what it has done for the Jhin. He's managed to back and come back to lane while Kai'Sa hasn't left yet. So now he has the Noon Quiver advantage. No, Camille stuns a minion. You hate to see it, but she does Hextech ultimate keeps him locked in. He has to ult away and flash for all. And Lilia flashes in for the first blood. Dean with the kill. Flash for flash, but Malphite lost his ultimate in the process. And that's 400 gold in Lilia's pocket.
You love to see it. They decided to trade pressure with since they saw that Majesty was just taking the dragon on both side, they decided to trade pressure and apply pressure on the top side. try to get the Camille going, or rather just try to make sure that the wave state is in a favorable position for her, such that she's not as oppressed by the Malphite. And even though the Lily has got skill, that should still be able to enable her to start roaming and also be able to do a decent amount of damage on all the other lanes.
Right. Now, of course, we're seeing here Jin sitting with his Noon Quiver, advantage of a Kai'Sa. That's more damage, that's more attack speed, which for Jin is just more damage, and of course the extra bit of crits. So in this lane, should Kai'Sa have to stay, which she probably will if she doesn't want to miss farm, this is a very advantageous lane for the Jin.
It really is. And longer this goes on, or rather the longer the Kai'Sa keeps on missing out farm, the longer this Jin is going to get the chance to hit those important power spikes early enough. And this bot lane
we see both junglers in bot lane, but meanwhile, mid skirmish, both people walk away. Lilia is here, but Viego is here as well. They don't know where he is. Now he shows for the first time. Looking to get this done, but no, he gets out. Kai'Sa going in, the Cathian Ring comes down, Hugify comes down as well, keeping the Kai'Sa alive, and Viego walks away.
Like, they could have just looked to dive the Viego.
Meanwhile, Kiana in the mid lane fighting the Victor. Victor pops the ult, but Kiana walks away from it. Perhaps looking to re-engage. She doesn't have any water nearby, so she doesn't have the stun engage just yet. Chooses instead to back away and get her farm.
Indeed, and now just look at the bot side. Jin keeps on farming, and as it said earlier, this lane is only going to get harder and harder for Team Majesty, because the amount of freedom that they're giving the bot side is something that they shouldn't look to do, considering just how well Jin scales in the game.
Right. Now, there's quite a bit of a skirmish heavy game, but so far, aside from the one kill on Imperfect, both teams have managed to keep themselves pretty safe, keep their summoners up, themselves safe, farm. Kai'Sa finally backing and spending all that gold. Now she has the advantage. So Jin does have his completed boots, which, Jin gotta go fast.
Fast Jin go brr, but could work out, could not work out. We just have to wait and see how this all plays out.
Yeah, so top lane being pushed in for the side of MBL, and bot lane being pushed in as well. Yeah.
Look at the cheeky word that Dean just dropped on the bush, like next to the Rift Herald, or rather opposite the Tribush. That's going to give them a bit of information when Imperfect starts pushing the wave, and just whether or not he's going to be able to just go and contest the Rift Herald. So I like this way. I just like this vision positioning, rather the amount of vision they're trying to invest, just making sure there are no dark spots on the map for now.
Right. Yeah, bot lane looking pretty even once again. They've managed to even out. Jin with the boots of swiftness, Kai'Sa with the extra pickaxe, so extra speed versus extra damage.
Well, for what it's worth here though, the Jin Thresh could probably win the 2v2 this early into the game, because the damage on Jin's fourth shot is not something to be trifled with. Well, Kai'Sa, even though she might have the Icathian Rain and also the bonus attack speed from her E, it doesn't really give her much, considering the fact that the wave is also crashing now.
Yeah, but Thresh he lands the hook over the wall, stopping the Lilia from ulting. And Viego is in, he flashes, he flays, the ult is down, death sentence. Lulu hugifies, but it's not enough to save a life, and that's a kill over to the Viego.
Viego just timed that rotation perfectly. He realized that the wave had been pushed in, so he just decides to just come in, get that quick kill, reset quickly.
Lilia popping the ultimate, hoping to catch someone out, but unfortunately it does not.
Yeah, but then also just look at how far in Majesty have managed to push topside. The ward they set up earlier gave them the vision that Malphite had, or rather Imperfect had already reset, so they had the chance to start just pushing and make sure that even though they were losing out a bit on both side, they still got enough pressure traded back on top side.
Right. And Juggernaut picking up a bit of third plate gold there for himself. Looking perhaps to start going into this game to beat Victor and ruin Kian with the known.
That's true. Then also, I'd just like to bring attention to something we've also realized with this game is that both teams seem to be prioritizing more on just trying to get tower plates onto their carries because more tower plates early game just means more gold, and more gold means your carries get to get online faster. So as opposed to what we'd see where teams are rather just trying to skirmish as much as possible around the drakes, they're choosing to almost handshake and just try to get the plates and then start with the skirmishes after turret plating has fallen.
Right.
Then the
Now,
check.
we see what everything's doing. Oh, the hook has landed.
That's the third hook he landed so far. I cannot begin to count, in all honesty. Like that was really unexpected.
Oh wow, what a fight! The cleanse had to come out. Yeah,
It seems like everyone's just trading on.
he heard you talking about his hooks, and he decided it was about time he landed one.
Oh, then he heard me again and decided it's time to throw. So it's still pretty even, but that even as you said, that a bit of a trade going on, and Jin comes out on the lower side with almost half his HP gone, and you have to recall.
You have to respect the Halo Blades Kai'Sa. She gets to that 5th auto very, very quickly.
That's true, and also now due to the plasma passive, I believe the stacking damage is not something that should be joked around with because depending with the item, or rather, if you just look at the itemization, Kai'Sa is she's a full pickaxe ahead of Jin, so that damage is still pretty significant.
Yana going in, taking a tower shot, escapes the stun, and gets away.
It seems like we've gone back to game one where people didn't respect tower shots and didn't realize that before a certain level, those things do a great amount of damage.
A great amount of damage. Oh, Camille trying to go in, gets the damage. Adaptive shield, Hextech ultimatum. Malphite can't run away from this ulcer though. Imperfect trying to get away, but Camille, being Camille, manages to flash in, gets the stun, and gets out with her life.
Amazing decision making from Camille as always, choosing to just try and trade him because as she'd seen, Malphite's mana was a bit low, so when she decided to start trading, it was more advantageous for her, and that's just a quick kill for the Camille.
Right. And of course, you see there the power of the Camille top lane, and we see why she's been banned for the past 3 games.
That's true, and it also seems like she's going for the heavy bruiser build, starting out with the Divine Thunderer and then the steel cups, I believe. So
Jin watching the killer instinct coming in. Will she get the 5th auto for the kill? He flashes, almost hits on the tower but misses. The ult comes in, the flake comes in, Hugify goes down to keep Kai'Sa alive, but Lulu ends up eating 2 tower shots for that. It's the support for the ADC's life.
Well, that's just I'd say that's a big up for excuse me. That's a big up on TBL side because even though it's a Thresh that got the kill, it just means that Kai'Sa is a bit more vulnerable, and now TBL have a bit more breathing room to just start pushing in this lane and getting that tier 1 down.
Right, of course, both ADCs locking in their Gale forces. Kai'Sa choosing to go for extra damage in lieu of Jin's ulti. The flash, final showdown, but Viego manages to get away, unfortunately. And Victor looking to secure the kill. Viego has come back. No, they disengage.
Well, the Chaos Storm at a later game would have been able to finish off the Kiana, but seeing as it's still quite early, it doesn't have enough damage.
Yeah. But you have to respect that art. The amount of outplay potential it provides is quite insane.
And that's true. And considering this is Juggernaut we're talking about, that play was actually well thought out.
Now, of course, we see here MBL looking to secure the Drake for themselves, not looking to put TBL on sore point. But Virtuous steals the dragon. He may lose his life for it, but it was completely worth for his team. That's a flash from the Hextech ultimatum, not letting him out. Thresh will die here, but he dies to save the Jin.
And that's just oh my goodness. like in all my years of playing this game, there's two things that can really tilt you. One is a bad duo, and the second is just getting the cake stolen.
Juggernaut got completely caught out there. Dice to the victor, unfortunately.
For all the hype I've just given him, I am a bit disappointed in the fact that he got caught out. Not just in the fact that they don't have vision, not just on top side, but they don't really have vision anywhere else on the map anymore. Just if you check the bot side, it seems like Majesty has been
Lilia has to stopwatch under tower and flash. She almost died there. She walked straight into 3 of the TBL members. I don't know what she was expecting there, to be honest.
sleep, maybe.
She didn't have a ult. She popped it earlier.
Well, then she's probably trolling, but you know, these things happen. At times
These things
blind,
do happen. Yeah.
and now TBL choose to just go for the Rift Herald, but then
Imperfect dodges the stun. That's a perfect stun from an imperfect player, apparently. Thresh with a lantern to save him. The curtain call is out. The Thresh ultimate is out. He catches her dashing away and she dies. Imperfect picks up that kill. Viego
And
in
just
for the
as-
fight. Is trying to fight Lilia. Lilia gets hugified. She's able to survive. She's able to kite away. And Viego goes down.
and
Oh,
just
Thresh
as
lands
you
another hook.
like, oh,
Oh, Kiana going in. The showdown is down, but she
Oh.
dies instead. The 4th shot damage is ridiculous. Jin gets the double kill.
that was such a beautiful ulti, but Juggernaut refused to respect the fact that they were at the man disadvantage, and the bot lane just gets 2 quick kills, and this gen is just going to get a bit more scarier.
Yeah. Now, this game is looking to be going quite in the favor of MBL right now. They're getting the kills they need. They're getting them where they need them. And most importantly, they're keeping Juggernaut down.
And that's true. I think they probably realized from their earlier game, what they realized from their earlier game was that the more agency and freedom that they give Juggernaut would probably result to them having a harder time come the mid game, and as we just slowly transition into the late game. So it seems like their plan here is to just try and make sure that they shut down as much as possible, reduce just the amount of roaming that he can do, so that he's just forced to come back to any specific lane, just try to manage the wave states, and have a less impact on the map.
Yeah, of course, now MLB is on soul point, and that Drake should be coming up here very soon. Both teams will look to secure vision. We see 2 control wards in the Dragon Pit. And should MLB get that soul point, it should be what they need to just snowball this game into victory.
And that's really but it's really scary the amount of damage that they already have at this point with the Viego and the Jin, but then now also add in the bonus damage that they get from the Infernal Soul. It's going to be like really hard for Majesty to start coming back from that.
Yeah, now, of course, we can't write off TBL. This is not their first rodeo. They've won this matchup before. They know what to do. So, if anyone could claw their way back into this game, it's them.
And that's true. They should probably just look to start reducing the tempo of the game once more. Just try to make sure the lanes are at a slightly even state, or I'll just try to threaten any of the tier 1s. As you can see on the mid lane tier 1 had already fallen, so they should probably look to the tier 1 on top of bots, and then probably look to get a lead from there.
Yeah, and we see Shelly heading the top lane to assist Victor in taking that tower down, perhaps. And the rest of TBL is rotating towards the Drake.
Indeed. But that's actually like a right call, considering the fact that if they actually give up this soul, it's going to get considerably harder for them. Not that it isn't already.
Oh, Kaiser caught in the mid lane. Both gale forces popped. Jay has to flash away from the Voice. Kaiser putting out damage in the back. Hugify comes down. Blast to stopwatch. But still, Lilia goes down. Unfortunately, the showstopper comes in and Viego will go down. That's a double kill for the Kaiser. Hunter's Instinct comes in to try and get the triple kill. She's still going. Kills on the side of TBL, and That's been quite a good fight for them. Camille, however, is finding herself caught out, but she is able to get away. Jin, fourth shot with the bounce kill. Oh, you hate to see it.
But the Kiana answers back.
Oh,
with the
Juggernaut
extra
gets the kill back. Now we have three of MLB alive, but very low health. They will seek to do this dragon, but they will have to back after.
That's true, but that skirmish was just so messy from the beginning because everything seemed to be going so well.
Oh, impact. I mean, sorry, imperfect.
There's nothing. There's nothing much you can do at this point because they can just safely disengage and then just look to reset and get back in lane easy.
Yeah, but remember, Lulu was 1 HP. If imperfect so much that looked at her the wrong way, she was dead. So she's really lucky to get out of that alive.
And that's true. As our friend Neha would have said, if Malphite had just looked at how funny, Lulu would probably be dead at points.
Yeah. Would have seen another flash ulti. I know that's what would have happened in Solo Queue, but luckily these are professional players.
And that's true. And now TLB looking to set up vision on Baron as that's the only neutral objective that's up. And Camille is finally off onto the side lane.
Now, we see here the vision been setting up around Baron. We see both teams really wanting to secure this. TLB not wanting to give it away. Oh, the showstopper comes down, and that's a very quick kill. Thresh is dead.
Oh!
There we go. There's the ulti I was talking about. Lilia finds herself super dead. Kaisa, Hunter's Instinct comes in. The Kiana damage able to delete the Jin. Imperfect running for his life. Viego unable to help him. And he will go down here.
Oh, Camille with the perfect KS. Oh, it's not really a KS considering she probably needs that kill more. And now they could just look to clear vision around Baron, reset, or probably just try to do it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so they're just going to clear this Baron out and seek perhaps to open up that bot lane, open up the mid lane, and get some priority in this game.
Indeed, but then even as we say that, it seems like Diego's already respawned and is just around the Baron pit as well. So Majesty choose to respect it and recall.
Yeah. Now Camille going to push out the top lane before she backs. And we see a lot of vision clearing from the Thresh, but both teams looking to calm down and swing the game in their favor.
And that's true. Then also, for anyone who's watching and probably plays support, as a support, this is basically what you're expected to be doing come the mid game. Like all you should be doing is just leave your AD carry to just get as much farm as possible and scale while you clear the vision out, such that should the enemy team choose to engage, they'll first have to face check. And if you just look at things in such a scenario, if you face check, you might stand to lose 1 or 2 members, and that's probably not where you want to be, considering the how long the timers can be at this point in the game.
Right. So I'm looking at this game and I'm seeing one thing. I'm seeing TBL who are on match point. They have 3 Drakes. They're on soul point. I'm seeing a lot of damage on their side in the form of the Jin items. He may have died a few times, but it's still quite ahead over here. He has 5 kills. And we're basically seeing a team that can scale well into the late game. But I'm also seeing MBL looking to equalize this. They don't want to let this game go without a fight. And how do you see this game going from this point forward?
Honestly, I think it all really depends with the setup. Depending with just how well the individual laners on either side are set up, the game could snowball in any way. But if I just look at itemization and the wave states at the moment, Camille has been unlocked into the side lane, but then TBL chose to answer that by always making sure that Victor is always on the same lane, just trying to answer the pressure that she's trying to give off on any lane that Camille is. So just basically depending with how this next fight will go is what is actually just going to determine how the game is going to roll out for the next 10 or so minutes. And as I say that, it seems like TBL are just about to go set up vision for that Drake, and Majesty are going to have to answer and just have to rotate down bot side and try to answer, because this is Soul Point we're talking about.
Yeah, and Soul Point is nothing to scoff at. Both teams would be very happy to have that in their hands. And
That's true.
TBL is looking to close it out for themselves once and for all. Now, of course, Majesty, if they can continue to stall this game out, they can continue to get things going and slow the pace of the game down. Perhaps even stay in this series, but perhaps we see a bit of a fight bring up in the mid lane.
Yeah, skirmish is bound to happen here because, like I said, this is Soul Point, so both teams just try to make sure,
Kaiser lands the Void Seeker, gets the damage off. Oh, might be caught out. The Hugify comes down immediately. Imperfect ults in, and that's we see a stopwatch stop. The Showstopper comes in as well. Victor ult is going down, putting a lot of damage onto TBL, but Imperfect is there. He gets what? We see one kill on the Camille, but then she goes down as well. Viego kills the Kaiser. So without an ADC, Viego gets the double kill. The resets are insane, and that's a drink for them.
Oh, this is just going to be like really hard for Majesty to come back from. If you just look at the previous fight, like it was a decent engage from the Kaiser, but then she fails to respect the fact that Malphite was still on the front line. And things just start going south from there. The second Lulu was forced to use the Fugify on her. But then also, I totally respect Majesty's top laner's decision to just try and take out the Jhin as early as possible. But then since the front line was just basically alive and almost full HP, that decision then goes sour for her because she gets alive, traded, and then Jhin just manages to get like 2 quick kills. And as you can see, Jhin is like 7-2, and they could just probably look to threaten Baron with this.
Yeah, now of course we see they are setting up around the put vision down, but they don't want to start it just yet. They're not quite in position for it, and they don't have much information as to where a lot of Majesty is right now. Of course, that forward in on Lilia's blue is quite crucial in letting them know where those people are.
That's true, and like I said, for any supports who are watching this, just always remember to invest in vision, because in as much as people probably say that damage and team comps are basically what win games at a higher level, vision is what basically determines how the game plays out, because there's a lot of things you're limited on if you do not have enough vision, and as such, Majesty is almost losing out on this with regards to this.
Yeah. Now, interesting use of the Viego E here. He uses it even though he has no intent to. It's a very good zoning tool because they have to respect the fact that he could be anywhere in that mist.
That's true. Now they look to try and steal the fight.
Kiana in for the steal. She has stolen the Baron. No smite. Juggernaut. Oh, but she dies for the attempt, and Juggernaut steals the Kiana. Goes in. Dies immediately. The Hextech ultimatum not letting him. He dies for the attempt. Meanwhile, Thresh lands the hook. And that's a double for the Lilia, double kill for the Jhin, double kills for everyone. Camille, triple kill for the Lilia. Camille picks up a kill on the Jhin as well. That's an ace, and Majesty come out way ahead in that fight.
That was completely unexpected, but props to Juggernaut for the Baron steal. Even though he trades his life, it just gives them a bit more breathing room, and now they can look to threaten the mid lane inhibitor.
Yeah. Now we have 17 seconds on Viego, 5 seconds on Malphite, so they can definitely get the hit, but they can't end just yet.
And that's true. And what Lilia could probably look to do is also just threaten the bot side tier 2, but it looks like she's probably just going to go for chickens or probably reset instead of doing that.
Yeah, now see, going for the tier 2 wouldn't be an awesome call at this point, because now the whole team is up. They've just spent all the gold. They have, home guard's movement speed. Getting caught out would be very easy. She makes the correct decision in taking the buff and backing away.
Oh, well, if you said it, then I guess I'll just have to go with that, because this is probably my Iron mentality speaking, so I appreciate the correction.
Yeah, no worries. We are all Iron at heart, buddy.
Anyway, moving on swiftly. Like, the Camille pick is finally starting to pay off, because all the time she's been spending on the side lanes has started to pay off. If you just look at her itemizations, she's at 3 items with the Sterak's and the Ravenous Hydra, and this Camille is nothing to joke with.
Absolutely. Camille, of course, being one of the most versatile champions in the game, and she has the Sterex, as you say, and all that damage able to come in. Damage, sustain, the shield she has, she's just very perfectly poised for being sort of an assassin even through the Bruiser build. She's able to get onto the Jhin, lock him down, and make sure he doesn't go anywhere.
That's true, and TBL realized that they aren't seeing Camille anywhere on the map, and the pings are starting to come out that probably things aren't as they would seem, and they have to rotate both side and just make sure they get some vision down there.
Yeah. Now, both teams looking to close this game out as quickly as possible, not wanting to let the other ADC scale. So we'll have to see how that goes.
That's true, but then also look at the item discrepancy on both side. It's not that big, but it's just like a Doran sword, considering both ADCs are on 4 items already. Wow. That's a lot. But then also the Jhin has an IE, so I'd probably say that at any one time, the Jhin probably does more damage than the Kai'Sa. Then also add in the Execute with the 4th shot, and Jin's autos and abilities are going to start to hurt a lot more from this point on. Now it seems that everyone is just trying to push the mid lane, try to threaten the Elder Baron that's about to spawn in a bit. And now this could be the make or break factor for this game. It seems my co-caster has a bit of an issue, so I'll just have to monologue a bit. You're just allowed to troll me on YouTube, just ask any random questions, and we'll probably look at it later. And even as you say that there seems to be a bit of a skirmish, Diego comes out with a kill and make it a double kill, but then also it's a bit messy. The Kai'Sa trying to go into the backline, but then she gets stunned. And the Camille just trying to shut down the Jhin, but there's not much she could do here. Wow. And that's a very good play for them. Like, at this point, if TBL just managed to get this Elder Dragon, it could probably be GG. But then I wouldn't want to speak too early, considering how Majesty have managed to answer each turn and just make sure that this game doesn't snowball as much as it probably has. And now with TBL just recalling and trying to reset, just try to make sure that the waves are pushed out, so that now that the winning factor has been decided, they have the Infernal Soul, they also have Elder Drake. It should suffice that should they engage in a team fight, they should be able to come out on top, and maybe this could mark the end of this series. And even as you say that, the match down mid lane begins, and it's pretty slow from here. Yana and Kai'Sa looking to threaten on the side lane on top side, just trying to make sure that the wave is pushing before coming back and just trying to make sure that everyone is stopped. The mid lane march by TLB is stopped. But even as they say that, they just march on forward, try to get the inhibitor, and they could probably choose not to reset at this point because they could just end it here. Malphite just tries to go in with the ulti, misses, has to flash away. And things are just TBL just choose to respect it, and they all decide to recall and just try to get things back in order. And now Baron, the final neutral objective is up. Baron is up again, and at this point, I'd like to believe that this Baron fight would probably be the deciding factor for all of this. If Majesty choose to let this go, then it's probably going to be GG for them, considering all of TBL's carries are online. Everyone that they need to be fed is already on some good items, and even I can say that Baron is secured, and now it's time to push out the lanes. Now, even as we reset, the things start to come out. TBL just decide to group up top, get the tower down, just open up the map a bit more for themselves, and just march in with this Baron buff. And from this point, I think they could just look to clear the game. But then again, just respecting the fact that anything could happen, they just choose to like just take the tower, take the inhib, and just recall. All right. Just quickly checking on itemization. It seems the Camille is almost fully online, getting itself the GA as well. And on the on TBL side, the Malphite is really chunky with a lot of armor, considering his Frostfire, Penitence, and Thornmails are complete. Then also has a bit of magic resist with the boots. And from this point on, I think you could probably just choose to itemize like one magic resist item, but that may not be necessary considering that they could be ending this game at any time now. And now all lanes are wide open with the last tier 3 going down and the inhibitor as well. This could look to be like the last fight. We are just choosing to like slowly bleed them out, just take down all towers, take down all inhibitors, just bleed them out slowly and make them lose any and all hopes of winning the game and managing to come back for final game 5. Even going as far as to just clear the walls in the enemy base, and they could just look to just slowly take it from here. Oh, Thresh misses his hook. Diego out, just doing as much damage as possible to Camille. But then both GA pop, and it's going to look a bit risky here. And oh, fourth shot finally gets the Lilia. Malphite just looking to just march in because he is tanky as hell and he can just do a lot. And the final tower falls, and I think it's GG.
GGTBL. That's the series, and that's our Africa AEC champions.
Congratulations to TBL for winning the AEC 2020 League Legends Championship.
Yeah, and what a game that was. What a game that was.
Indeed, like, things just seem to be going so well for Majesty at some point. Like, the second Juggernaut stole Baron, things were actually going like really well, and things they looked like they could actually manage to come back from this game. But then the Baron, the soul fight just happened, and things just went absolutely south from there. So I just like to like that. That's like just a GG to TBL for just deciding to just play it slow, just play to their win conditions, which is making sure the Jhin and the Viego are fed. And from that point on, it was just smooth sailing for them.
Yeah, now of course, this is a match TBL has won before, and they've shown us they have what it takes to win it again. Of course, they met in the North African finals for the regional qualifiers, and meeting again on the final stage might be a bit of fate playing into, the hands of TBL. Could have been anyone, but they had to meet the people they knew how to beat.
Indeed, but then as we all know, fate like RNG might just choose to troll us at every step of the way. Right. So it's a big fat L for them, and the W that's been taken home by TLV.
Yeah, I would love to hear what's going through one of the players' heads at this moment, especially someone like Imperfect. Like, what's going through his head right now? Like, he had to lane against the Camille. He at some point seemed to be losing, but he came in and turned some of these fights around with that Malphite, really securing this game for his team. Yeah.
And that's true. Plus, also the Malphite pick seemed to work out really well for them. Like, come the mid game, because they had a solid front line So all they had to do was just make sure that Malphite can engage, and then the Jin and the Viego will just do the rest from there. So solid work to them for just playing the Draft Kingdom as safely as possible, and now managing to clinch this win.
Right, and of course we see why the Viego was banned all there. But ladies and gentlemen, that is our AEC Esports Championship Finals. TLB are our grand champions, of course, taking home the bag, taking home the trophy. As they say, winner, winner, chicken dinner.
But then that's in PUBG, so for us, we'll just say GG easy.
GG easy. Bit of BM for you, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah.
I think that's just about it from us today. Thank you so much for joining us on the stream. For those of you who have persevered with us up until this moment, we really appreciate it. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for seeing this all the way through to the end. And thank you for just supporting your teams and just showing up and proving that Africa can do something with regards to esports.
Yeah, we really do appreciate your patronage. We really appreciate your support, both on the YouTube stream and over on the Twitch stream as well. We really do appreciate the fact that all of you came out, all of you, and supported your African brothers.
Indeed. So now that we're just about to finish, for all you TBL fans, just go spam hashtag TBL win, hashtag AEC 2020 on those socials, and we'll make sure to retweet your updates. Just reshare them and just spread the love, spread the joy. Just basically, it's just been a really good show of sportsmanship. So even though Majesty didn't really win, I just like to say GG to them for managing to fight it out this much and just making sure that we had an absolute banger of a series.
Indeed. So final words from us here at the analyst desk. We love both teams. We love the effort they put into this game. And until the next championships, that has been Ian, Unlimited Hero, and me, Chris, and signing off for tonight. GG, well played, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Make sure to check us out on our socials, and that's AEC and Esports Africa on Instagram and Twitter. That's Esports and then Africa with an AFREECA. Check us out. Do like our post, share, just comment. Anything and everything will be appreciated.